cool. Hi everyone.
Hi!
I am in Missoula, Montana with the wonderful Lindsey Doe.
So I'm a clinical sexologist here in Montana. This is my office, my sex books, my models, and I also have a channel on youtube.com/sexplanations where I talk about all things sex.
So Lindsey is a bit of a sex expert, and I'm a trans person. We're gonna try to combine our expertises and talk about where those things intersect.
Cool.
And I know that a lot of trans people struggle with dysphoria that can be triggered during sex.
Okay.
So I kind of want to have a conversation.
I mean, yes, let's do it.
Okay.
Pause. Before the video continues, there are two terms you, the audience, needs to understand. The first is transgender. The word transgender is an umbrella term for any person whose gender differs from the sex and/or gender they were assigned at birth. The second term you'll need to know is gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria is distress or unhappiness experienced because one's gender does not match their sex and/or gender assigned at birth. All right, I think that's it. On with the video.
I want to brainstorm some ways that trans people can get out of their head, enjoy sex more, and alleviate any kind of dysphoria they may experience. So first, how can we use communication and boundaries to alleviate dysphoria during sex?
So communication-wise, the first thing that comes to mind is letting your partner know how you feel if that's something you're comfortable doing, or communicating with someone you do feel open to sharing that information with, so that you're not having to hold that all in addition to feeling crappy. Also, I think that when I say something out loud to another person who is like me, it's a form of acceptance. And I'm not accepting okay, this is my experience and I'm just done with it, I'm not gonna do anything, but accepting it as a reality from which to grow from. I'm also a huge fan of this thing called a want, will, won't list, where people can talk about their ideal situation, their kind of common ground, which would be their wills, and then their hard limits, their won'ts. Here, I would say that the context is about your sexuality. And so you could say, I want you to refer to my anatomy in this way. I don't want you to refer to it in this way. I want you to touch me in this way. I don't want you to touch me in this way. And it's, I think, a really cool way to have those conversations where they're not attached so tightly to someone else's emotions and what they're gonna think and how they might feel rejected. Instead, you're just saying, hey, this is my game, this is how I wanna play. Where do our wants and our wills overlap? Because that's our playground.
A want, will, won't list is a way cuter and more fun way to say boundaries. Yeah, no, but just having that conversation of what is and isn't okay to touch. If we're dysphoric about certain parts of our body, we can tell our partners that they're off limits. We don't like those parts of our body getting attention. The only thing that I wonder about the want, will, won't list is that kind of implies that you know what you want, what you will do, and what you won't do. Not a lot of us know that, especially if it's your first time having sex or you're still discovering your gender and how you feel about your body. What do you do if you're not sure what should go on your want, will, won't list?
The nice thing is that the want, will, won't list is helping you categorize those things. But I will work with clients who say, I can't even think of 30 behaviors that I want to categorize, and I'm asking them to do 30 items per column. So in that case, I made an episode on Sexplanations called 150 Sex Acts so that people can watch all of those different things and then they could plug them in.
Okay.
Or in this case, you might explore your own body in a masturbatory way.
Okay.
And say okay, what is triggering to me and what is not? When I come close to this area, oh gosh, if I am not comfortable with my hands being there, maybe I'm not comfortable with someone else's hands or genitals or mouth, etc. being there. So let's at least put that over here, and I can move it at any time. You can change these items for yourself, not for someone else, but at least it's a starting point for the conversation.
Totally, I like that. I like the self-exploration part, that's cool. But a lot of times that can obviously change when you're in the bedroom. Your hands are different than someone else's hands, especially when you're insecure. So
Sure.
I think that if you are going to have a first experience or do some kind of exploring with a partner, a safe word is always a really cool way. Yeah, to have
that's so great.
Yeah, to have a stopping point. Maybe green could be you could check in on your partner. How are you doing? Is this okay? Green could be we're all good, no dysphoria. Yeah. Yellow could be starting to feel a little dysphoric, just be mindful of that. And then red could be I'm done, sex needs to stop. I know for me, safe words are hard because it takes a lot of courage for me to verbally interrupt sex.
Oh.
Yeah, so something that's better for me is just like a double tap. It just takes way less courage. It's way easier to do. I don't like have that big knot in my throat that says like, I'm about to end this thing that this other person's probably loving. It's easier to do. So a double tap could be a cool alternative. And then
I feel like we're in zombie terms now.
Is that a zombie term?
Yeah, double tap. That's when you
when you kill
shoot the
someone.
zombie
I literally
twice.
meant just like a...
I know. It is so funny.
Just sex. It's very violent when I have sex.
Yeah, I think that is great. I think that safe words which are verbal are important, and I suggest them being singular syllables and very easy to connect in your mind, like red, stop, okay, easy. And also to have a nonverbal version of that, even because I work with the BDSM community and they might have something in their mouths and not be able to verbalize a safe word. I also think that a way to become more accustomed to using those and not attaching them so much to interruption or rejection is to just use them in your everyday life. So my kids have safe words, my partner, we all use the same red, yellow, green. And if somebody is talking about something that's uncomfortable, they'll say yellow. Or if somebody is getting teased or they don't want to eat that particular thing, they might say red.
It normalizes the use of the word. It's not such a big deal. Red
Right.
isn't like, whoa, they redded. It's like, oh yeah, red, I hear that all the time. I know what that means. I like that. That's a really cool thing. So my next question is, how can people use specific language or word choice to potentially alleviate dysphoria that could be triggered during sex?
I, again, think it's important that you ask the people you're playing with what terms they want their different body parts to be referred to, or what they want themselves to be referred to. So I don't want you to call me a whore. I might want you to call me, do you swear on your channel?
No. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I just wanted to make you sweat for a second.
I don't want to be called a whore. I might want to be called a bitch. I do want to be called a woman. So that those might be the terms that I say for myself. And then for my body parts, I like cunt. I don't like vajayjay. I will go with pussy.
It's really important to remember that your body is your body, and you can call your body parts whatever you want. You can forget what you've learned in sex ed class and human anatomy class when it comes to naming your body parts. Whatever you have, whatever your junk is, you can call it a dick, a vagina, a pussy, a cock. You can call whatever you have, whatever you want, whatever affirms you. You can also describe your body doing whatever you think your body should be doing. You can describe yourself as getting hard or getting wet, or whatever, regardless of what's happening.
And I would also add that it's okay to play around with language. That I might say like, yeah, that feels so good on my whatever. And regardless of your identity, your gender, anything, it can be fun to explore different words and what those mean and how they're related to your psyche.
And if gendered words aren't your thing, there's also a lot of gender neutral phrases that you can use. So what are some gender neutral phrases that people could use to refer to their body parts?
Genitals, anatomy, these are all kind of clinical.
Yeah, so I was
privates, junk down there,
Right.
below the belt.
Yeah, I asked on Twitter for some like gender neutral alternatives, and I got like sexy bits, happy place, fun zone, genitals, privates, and then I was like trying to be honest with myself, and they either seemed silly or like clinical for me to use. But if I wanted to like have the language to tell my partner what to do, so I was trying to think of things that I might say in bed that would be like gender neutral but not really clinical or really silly. Because I know that a lot of people who watch my channel don't identify with either of the binary genders. So to gender their parts feels really uncomfortable. So it can be really important to have gender neutral language. So I made a list of things that I might say in bed that weren't gendered. And
This is awesome. Ash, you are awesome.
because sometimes it's hard to think of those things. So if you need like a model, I might say, if I'm touching my partner or being touched, I could say, I love the way you feel. Your body is so sexy. I love feeling what I do to you. Touching you turns me on. Move down there, please. You could grab their hand and say, I like it when you touch right here or focus here. There's a lot of like really sexy ways to be like, I love when you touch me. I like that. That aren't gendered, so you don't have to like feel that dysphoria that could be triggered by words that don't affirm you.
Demonstrate with your own body parts how you want to be touched.
And then my final question is, how can we use clothes, wearable items, and or toys to potentially alleviate dysphoria that could be triggered during sex?
You could wear items that express what you wish was there or what you own as your body part, an extension of you, like a prosthetic. You can draw on your underwear. This is something that I have done, I think is really cool, to just take the underwear that you're wearing and draw the genitals that feel comfortable to your body.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
It works as a really great map too.
Yeah, I think that this question comes from the fact that a lot of dysphoria can be triggered visually. So, say you're a trans guy and you're dysphoric about your chest, there's no rule that you have to have sex totally nude. You can keep...
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you can keep your shirt on. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
You can keep your pants on. That's totally okay. There are no rules for how to have sex. You can keep your underwear on. Your partner can still go down there and hang out if you're comfortable with that. But if you need to block certain things visually in order to manage your dysphoria, that's okay. Are you familiar with any like prosthetics out there that could be used during sex that are like different or fun? Because I know that a big complaint is a lot of the time like, okay, so there's a prosthetic and visually that's appealing, but I don't know how much pleasure I'm feeling. That's like my biggest complaint that I see in the comments about prosthetics. Are there any prosthetics that could...
You're saying that the prosthetics change appearance, but they're not necessarily pleasurable to that person's erectile tissue,
Yes.
etc. Okay. I mean, the one that comes to mind would be something like a dildo where one end goes into, and I'm going to use clinical anatomy terms here, but the vaginal canal, and then from that there is a phallus.
So like an insertable.
An insertable, yes, where you get to have a dick and you get to fuck with that dick from your body.
Right.
Yeah. Go technology. All sorts of strap-on systems where vibration can happen closer to your mons. Again, if you are on the receiving end of some sort of penetration, the anus is a really good option if that's something comfortable for you. People will use what's called the Inguinal Canal, which is a part of a person assigned male at birth has these kind of pockets where the testicles came from that can serve as like a penetrative pocket.
That's cool.
Inguinal Canal.
Inguinal Canal.
Yeah. Or you can put your legs together and that can create a friction surface. I have a video on dry humping that's all about the different parts of the body that can rub and thrust.
There was another cool thing that you mentioned that I was hopefully going to get you to talk about in your trans sex ed video. It's about creating a barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mirroring.
Yes, would you talk about mirroring?
Here's the idea. The idea is that you would put a barrier between the person's prosthesis, so either a phallus or something conic that looks like a vulva or whatever they want their configuration to be, and their erogenous erectile tissue that would feel the sensation, okay? And then you're going to use two hands or whatever you have to work with, and on one side of this barrier you're going to do the movement, and on the other side you're going to do the same movement so that you're mirroring yourself, and the person is going to feel it here but see it here, and so it's going to translate like that is their actual body part.
I love that. If any of you have any ideas or any ways that you manage your dysphoria that perhaps is triggered during sex, please share that in the comments below. We also filmed a video over on Lindsey's channel, which was about
Biosex language moving toward assigned male and assigned female at birth.
It's a really cool video and I think you should go check it out. Okay, bye!
Hey there, ho there, before you go there, don't forget to click that link. The YouTube algorithm works in very strange ways. A click's the best way to give Ash Hardell your praise. So hey, ho, before you go, don't forget to click that link.